Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Cioffi, FiOS 1 News Long Island and FiOS 1 News New Jersey. Meteorologist Joe Rao, FiOS 1 News Hudson Valley, will be in momentarily as we wait for the warm weather to get underway. All of 2 days worth, but for New Jersey, I will state that it will be 3 days because we'll start to see temperatures warm up into the 60s on Wednesday, which at least is back to normal, which is nice. But we're going to see those above normal temperatures come in for Friday and Saturday, where much of the area will be getting into the 70s. Tonight we're going to talk about that, obviously. We are going to also talk about the rain that's coming for later Sunday night into Monday. That is thanks to a storm that is now moving into the West Coast with heavy rains there and heavy snows in parts of Northern California and on up the West Coast. And that's going to translate into a rather big storm for the Northern Rockies and the Northern Plains in terms of snow. It's also going to create a large area of fire risk in the Southwest, from West Texas all the way into southeastern California, into parts of Nevada, southern Utah, high winds, etc., etc. But at least here in the east at the moment, things are relatively calm. So let me say, we should also mention, by the way, the severe weather that's probably going to occur beginning Friday night and then again late Saturday night, and then again on Sunday across the Gulf states. The Western Gulf Friday night, the Central Gulf will be Saturday night, and then the southeastern part of the United States will likely be Sunday night, and that tropical moisture is going to be surging up the eastern seaboard, so we stand a good chance of getting a really solid soaking rain here Sunday night into Monday. The first part of the weekend will be better than the second, so Saturday's your day of the two to do whatever it is you want to do outdoors. I'm going to try to get a little bit of fishing in, and of course if you stretch it out to a 3-day weekend, we have Friday, which will also be pretty nice. Well,
I'm sorry, I had a phone call.
Mr. Rao has now walked into the door, to which we say, hello. Hello.
Hello there. I recognize that. That was on the $99,000 answer.
Yes, it was. And do we know what the title of that is, by the way?
Is that was it Jackie Gleason, the theme from the Jackie Gleason
Yes,
show?
but what was it called? Hold on, don't cheat. What was it called?
What am I going to see? I can't see a darn thing.
Okay, but it's there. The answer was there.
I don't know.
It's called Melancholy Serenade in Blue. No, is it Melancholy Serenade?
Okay. Well, he, a lot of people don't realize that along with being a famous comedian and a great actor, if you ever saw the movie...
Oh, Requiem of a Heavyweight.
Was it? I thought it was The Hustler.
Wait.
I think it was The Hustler, Joe.
Was it The Hustler? Who was Requiem of a Heavyweight? That was Paul. That was Paul. Wait, Paul Newman was both. I'm getting confused. You're right. It was The Hustler. He was terrific. It's the pool shark.
Right.
Is that what they call him? Pool
shark?
Minnesota
Fats.
Yes, he did. Oh, he was brilliant in that movie.
Yeah.
Perfectly cast. All right. So talking to everybody about the next few days, because we're getting a rare couple of days of temperatures above average, and in some places it might even be 3 days above average if you for tomorrow for Central and South Jersey, getting up well into the 60s.
Well, tomorrow is the lead-in to what we've been promoting for many, many days now, and that's Friday and Saturday. 2 days where temperatures are going to even be in the Hudson Valley in the low to mid-70s, and quite possibly in parts of New Jersey. I'm sure you mentioned that on your shows today. Maybe 80 degrees.
Not impossible.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 80 in parts of the Hudson Valley. Sometimes you look at these things, these numbers, and they turn out to be conservative as compared to what the actual verifications end up being.
Right. The only thing I would just put out there for Friday is, and maybe for Saturday in some areas, there are a couple of little upper air disturbances running around. I wonder whether there might be some cloud issues at times, not the whole day, but at times there might be some cloud issues that might impact temperatures to some degree.
Well, Saturday for the Hudson Valley now, that front is going to be probably somewhere in the vicinity of maybe Albany or Kingston, that area. And if it's that close, there could be, as you just mentioned, cloud issues, and the clouds could hold the temperatures down a little bit, but still, even on Saturday, we're looking for temperatures in the 70s. It's been a long, long time in coming.
My cousin Joe Massaro is on, and he's going to put the central air. He says he's putting it on. Good, spend some money, Joe.
Well, I heard on NPR the show on WNYC. They had Al Ubell, and Al Ubell actually I think is the brother of Earl Ubell, the late Earl Ubell.
I was just going to say
the science reporter for CBS, and he's into home like a contractor or whatever. Home improvement. And he was saying today on this show I was listening to that if you have central or even regular air conditioning, get it looked at now. It should be looked at every year on a yearly basis. Do it now before we get into the summertime, and you have a waiting list of people waiting to get your mechanics fixed.
My cousin Joe, by the way, who he and I are 8 months apart, and we basically, when we were the first 5 years in our family pictures, we're always together. But he's who I told you about that went to grammar school, in the early years with you, kindergarten through second grade. Holy Rosary, Mrs. Quinn.
Oh my goodness! Don't mention her name. Don't mention.
Do not go into that story. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Leave it.
But we did go to the same grammar school back in the day.
Yes, and I went there too. For 1 year.
120th Street and Pleasant Avenue.
That's correct.
And if you were in Mrs. Quinn's class, it was Unpleasant Avenue.
And we'll leave it at that. I'm just going to bring up one of the things that's going to be happening with this storm that's coming into the west is that I think there's going to be a fairly serious outbreak of severe weather across the southern states. Okay, that was supposed to pop up magically.
And where did it go, Joe?
Where did it go? Let me
technology,
try this again.
Technology. Just think about 30 years ago, you'd be holding up, chemical treated, fax paper or whatever.
Let's try it again. That will work. There you go.
There you go.
So, when the Storm Prediction Center starts putting enhanced risk out on its, on
the third day.
On the third and on the fourth day, it's problematic. And this is for Friday into Saturday. And it has a fairly large area of enhanced risk across much of the western Gulf states and on up through the middle Mississippi Valley. This is going to be a pretty hefty outbreak here. And then that's going to translate eastward more into the central Gulf states on Saturday and in the southeast on Sunday, although I think the Sunday severe weather risk might be less. But this is all going to be part of the weather system that's going to probably bring in some pretty hefty rains here Sunday night into Monday.
Right, and as it's looking right now, the backdoor weather front that's going to usher in a noticeably cooler airflow probably will be moving at least through the Hudson Valley sometime Saturday evening. And I'm just wondering, and I'm throwing this out again, maybe, there might be, in advance of that push of cooler air, perhaps a couple of thunderstorms on Saturday evening. It's not likely to happen, but we may be seeing temperatures going from like 70s to near 80 to well down in the 50s to even maybe the upper 40s between Saturday morning or Saturday midday and Sunday afternoon.
The watches and warnings map is a mirror image of what it usually is. Where usually we've been seeing through the month of March all those lovely most of those colors in the east and not too much in the west, but this is the storm that's coming into the west now. All sorts of winter storm watches up throughout the northern and some of the central plains. Winter storm warnings up through parts of the northern Rockies. We've got a large area from the western plains all the way into the southwest that is so really abnormally dry, drought conditions. In some places it hasn't rained in months. You've got high wind warnings up for winds of 50 to 55 miles an hour or more. and as a result, huge fire risk. We're seeing that the relative humidities in this area are going to be in the range of about 3 to 6%,
Wow.
which is incredibly low.
Yeah, red flag warnings abound. And actually, this is for our area of the country, we normally would see red flag warnings about this time too. It's just that we've not had the unusually mild and dry weather that we are accustomed to seeing.
No, with all the snow cover that's melted, and now of course we're going to be dealing with some rain. We've had some rain, fairly even though it hasn't been especially heavy lately. It has been on a regular basis, so that part doesn't seem to be happening for us. We're getting a lot of some places, a lot of lakes and rivers were down from kind of a long-term dry spell, but it seems now, the snow cover certainly brought that back up to something resembling normal. Here's I brought up the GFS for tonight, and we get this disturbance that's moving across the lakes tomorrow. This kind of ushers in that warm air. We were trying to figure out that backdoor cold front, which is on Saturday lying to our north. It looks like it's going to stay to our north for the whole area during the day on Saturday, but well up into upstate New York, you can see the east-west band of ice and snow, and then of course we're talking about that severe weather event. Here's what it looks like for Friday night into Saturday morning, and then you have for later Saturday into Saturday night.
And wow, what a large area of ice and sleet and freezing rain from the New York-Canadian border into Canada. I hope none of you were contemplating maybe taking a day trip to Montreal or Quebec City this weekend.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit nasty up there. And yeah, I don't really think that backdoor front is going to get through the Hudson Valley until sometime during the early part of the evening hours of Saturday. So Saturday, all during the day.
The day side's fine.
Yeah, the day side is going to be just fine. Perfect for yours truly to be out on his front lawn picking up innumerable twigs, sticks, and branches from the 4 nor'easters that actually knocked a tree down on my property and also broke lots of branches and tree limbs. I keep looking at it every single day, and I say to myself, wait until next weekend. It's going to be warmer. So it's time that this weekend, or at least this Saturday, will be the day to get that lawn cleaned.
Sunday onshore flow, so we'll be about 20 degrees cooler in most areas, and then we'll get into this rain Sunday night into Monday. It looks like you're going to have a low. The original low from the storm in the plains moves across the Great Lakes and dies out, and you get a second low that forms, and is actually kind of, the model's been shifting a little further east with the axis of the frontal boundary,
right,
so that we might see that low develop very close by, so the model's generating, that heavy rain right over us.
And
it would be a 2 to 3 inch rainfall, I would think.
Near what we would call the triple point.
The triple point.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. When you have a storm occluding out and you have a secondary storm developing, and it develops on that triple point where the occluded front, the cold front, the warm front all converge, if you're anywhere near that, you can expect that the showery, heavy rainfall will be taking place. And yeah, we could see, well, conservatively an inch or two, but yeah, maybe 3 inches out of this. And all of that coming on Monday, Sunday night into Monday, after the 2 lovely days we're going to have Friday and Saturday.
Now, next week, Joe, as I was looking, I'm going to put the upper air up because we're going to see the block come back. I've got I'll just back this up just a little bit. We've got this big ridge in the east. Here's that deep trough in the middle with the storm that's coming out of the plains, and the jet in Canada is deflected, to our north. So we're warming up nicely. Then, as this trough swings eastward, and we go into next week. If you look, across northeastern Canada up through Greenland, we've got this blocky signature that develops again. Now, this particular model run late this afternoon develops it a bit more strongly than the prior runs. The runs have had this blocky signature on them for days now. It's going to be there. The problem is that when we get in these blocking patterns in the long range, when it shows up, every run handles that upper high a bit differently. Either it's stronger on one run, weaker in another, to the west or to the east. But it seems to be much more volatile in terms of what it shows on a run-to-run basis. So it kind of impacts, what the look's going to be. But it's definitely a colder look all next week again.
See, the red is verging almost on purple now up in the Ungava Peninsula, or just to the south of Greenland. So that's the signature that the block really is building very, very strongly. And if it continues that way, if the trend is toward that, we may be in blocky land for a good number of days to come.
Which is something that we should make clear to everyone. Blocking in the spring is not an uncommon feature. It happens as the polar vortex breaks down. The upper air pattern is making its transition away from winter and starting to move toward what it's going to be in the summer. So you do see this. We saw it last year. We see it almost every year.
I got a message today. Somebody says, "Hey Joe, do you think maybe we might get one more snowfall before the end of the month?"
Well,
these people are masochists.
They are. I agree.
Crazy.
Well, I think at this point it's going to have to be a really freakish kind of setup because of the fact that, though not unheard of, it is pretty rare to get something this late. But you can see here how the jet is displaced way to the south on the Pacific, across the United States. Whenever you see these upper lows sitting along and south of 40 degrees north, that's a pretty that's a pretty blocky look to it, and it carries, by the way, right through the long range period. It starts to disappear toward the end, but by that time the month of April is just about over with.
And then we move into May, and it certainly does not look like a leading into May, a May type weather pattern. And I mentioned last night the folks at the Climate Prediction Center, in their weekly experimental long range outlook, 3 to 4 weeks, is predicting below normal temperatures here in the Northeast right on into the first few days of May. So this pattern doesn't seem like ready to break down just quite yet.
Nice audience we have on board. I agree. It's too cold. Dennis Cassia. It is too cold. It needs to stop. Who got the 21? Oh my God, Timothy Veltman. Oh, but you're way up. You're up. Timothy's upstate, so he's up. I think close to Albany. So he got the 21 this morning. That's not good.
Mike Latella, is he watching?
I don't know. Is he there?
Scroll up a little bit more. I thought I saw his name. One of our weekend meteorologists. Well, maybe I might have been.
Well, I'll scroll back down. Good to see Cynthia Guignautis as the semester is coming to an end. Nice to see you here tonight. Let's see. Okay. I guess not. But we'll say hi to Mike anyway. He does watch from time to time. Yeah. My buddy Phil Buzz is on. Good to see you here. All right. Yes. Hello there, Joe Squared. There he is. Mike Latella is on.
See, I saw that.
And one more wet snow event, said David Florencia Carter.
Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Don't need that anymore.
No. Yes, frost on the windows on Long Island. Matt Shelley.
Angry Ben, can I plant my banana trees yet?
Oh, Ben. My buddy Angry Ben. Oh, John Nardi is on. I'm honored. Friend of mine who lives up in the Hudson Valley. Good to see everybody here tonight. I know the weather's kind of slow. There's from the standpoint of activity, but you know what? We like it that way.
Right.
We want to keep things calm and quiet because we're just tired. We really are tired.
Yes, absolutely. I mentioned last night about the fact that the term April is the cruelest month. And this is going to be an example. We're going to have 2 beautiful days, and then we're going to get slapped in the face on Sunday and Monday with a big chill down and lots of wet weather as well. Thankfully, wet, not white. You said, however, that April is the cruelest month was from
Edna St. Vincent Millay.
You're wrong.
What was it?
I looked it up. It's T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot was the one who said.
No, but the line I quoted was from Edna St. Vincent Millay, because she, in her poem, she addresses April as a cruel month. Let me. Okay. Let's right. Hold on.
Now here we go, folks.
And Saint. That poem always stood with me. Because she wrote. Hold on.
You might want to just put the quote up and see what you can come up with.
April, babbling like an idiot. Spring by Edna St. Vincent. April comes like an idiot.
Right, but I said April is the cruelest month.
Cruelest month, but I came up. I jumped immediately to right. See, April comes like an idiot, babbling and strewing flowers.
Right.
Okay. Because she was writing, again, as we were saying last night, she was writing in reference to World War II.
Okay.
Okay, so we're both right.
All right. All right.
You'll settle for that compromise?
See now what you learn besides weather. We throw in some other extra little things and little facts here.
Matt Schilling has a good idea for Sunday. I'm liking that. Hold on. Sounds like a good day for a pot of sauce, some nice wine, and a cigar. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
Let me know what time to come over. I know this is. I'm really waiting for this. I want to do some fishing. I was hoping my buddy Mike Panici would be on tonight because I think we're going to try and go fishing Saturday morning for at least a few
Looks like
hours.
It'd be a good day to do that.
All right.
And of course, we'll all be looking for the budding of the trees, the rapid explosion that takes place during the couple of days that we'll have temperatures, rising into the 70s.
And watch with this cold, colder than average pattern, folks. The blooms are going to last for a long, long time. This is going to be one of the tougher pollen seasons that's going to develop over the next 6 weeks.
Yep.
It's going to take a long time for a lot of these trees to bloom out, which, from a visual standpoint, it's going to be quite nice and rather beautiful for a while. But if you're...
I used to have, when I lived in the Bronx, I had a beautiful magnolia tree. And usually this time of the year, the magnolia tree will be blossoming, but
mine hasn't even started yet.
Really?
The same thing. Mine usually, late March, early April, it's already done. But no, not this year.
You're never supposed to touch a magnolia blossom. Do you know what happens if you touch a magnolia blossom? It turns brown.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that because I never touch mine.
Oh, well, don't touch them.
I won't. All right, folks, we're going to call it a night. We will be back tomorrow at the same time, 9:15 Eastern Time.
We'll be on 3 different venues. I will be manning FiOS 1 News Lower Hudson Valley, and Joe will be, of course, front and center at
FiOS 1 News Long Island, FiOS 1 News New Jersey. Brian Fitzgerald and Jeff Banson on tomorrow morning right here to get you started on your morning commute.
And then we have Brittany Borer and Addison Green looking at the weather during the midday hours, and then we'll saunter in sometime around 2 in the afternoon and
change everybody's forecast.
Take over through the rest of the afternoon and into the night.
All right, folks, have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.